Okay, so currently I work in tech. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you've heard about the tech layoffs, you've heard about the AI anxiety, you've heard about the worsening economy and how we're pretty much in a recession. And in trying to decide what I want to do with my career, I decided to double down and commit to learning even more about my professional industry and my personal projects in tech. And why do I want to do this? When everything is doomsday, tech is finished, we're cooked, all this stuff. Why do I even want to commit even more time and perhaps a bit of money into getting better at this industry when layoffs are happening and it's hard to get jobs with decent pay? Well, I don't think that this situation personally will continue the way it has been going. I think it's temporary. Why do I think that? Well, I'm not young anymore, unfortunately. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm pretty much Obachan status. I remember the 2008 recession, and I was just getting my career started, or trying to get my career started then. And I remember reading all the forums even back then, and people were complaining about outsourcing even then. And I bought into it the first time. I read all the forums about how it's not worth it. Don't even bother studying coding because everything is getting outsourced. And basically, whoever's in the industry now, enjoy it while you still can because we're cooked. Although we didn't use that phrase back then, but everything's finished back then. And so what I did was I listened to them. I focused on other things, even though I still tuned into technology because I love technology. I think technology is still, even now, fascinating. And even though I was sad about it and I internalized it, I thought that, okay, perhaps maybe I should focus on something else for my industry. Now, that didn't last long because if you think about working for 8 hours at the very minimum, if you work for 8 hours plus, you want to be happy doing what it is that you're doing. I had a brief number of years where I was actually forced to work retail because I couldn't really find an IT job straight out the gate. And in the very beginning, I was excited to just have a job. And then pretty soon after, retail drove me almost insane. Like, I don't think it is newsflash to anybody that, retail can be hard and difficult. And if you're in retail and it's not really your thing, you have my full sympathies. I can empathize. I was there with you. And it took me taking a really horrible field technician job and working my way up into help desk and then working my way up into systems administration, etc., to get to the juicy parts of my career that I really enjoy. And that took years. Could I have done it faster? Of course. But it is what it is. I've been doing my best in my career, and I've experienced high points and I've definitely experienced low points. What's my point? My point is that it got better, and despite the fact that everything seems dismal and dreary now, it seems like we're doomed. And listen, I don't have a crystal ball. We may actually be doomed. If we are, that sucks. But listen, this is the life that we have, so we're just gonna have to deal. Personally, I think, while I'm not the most optimistic person, I try. It is actually an active choice of mine to try to lean on the more optimistic side when it comes to my career, because anything to where I spend over 8 hours a day for years on end, I'm gonna want the very best for me in that regard. If my career was just a couple of hours a day, every other day, if it was a part-time job, I might be able to just, sacrifice my happiness. But because working culture in America is so relentless for so many years and for so many hours. I do really think that it behooves people to find something that they're truly passionate about. Now, having said that, did I just cringe myself up by saying that? Yes. I do think that passion is overrated when it comes to traditional work. Having said that, though, do I think that you would actually be happier working if you had some sort of passion? Yes. I do think so. So, many things can be true at the same time. And what's my point here? My point is that if you actually have found something that you're passionate about, and if you're here, most likely it's technology. If you're passionate about technology, I think the best thing that you can do is continue to double down on finding your way into making that be your career. It's not going to always be a bed of roses. There are really challenging parts to the technology career. Every so often, I ask myself if it's something that I continually want to do on a day-to-day basis as my primary career. There are easier ways to make money for sure. But I return to it. Almost like a moth to its flame, I return to it because it's something that I truly do love. So, having said that, I think the best thing to do is to take this time in, this time of change, this time of adjustment. I think the best thing to do is to really hunker down and focus on your skill sets. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm going to be doing, and that's part of the reason why I started this channel. So for now, I'm going to be here talking about technology and all its craziness and all of its changes and all of the adjustments that we'll have to make. And I will continue to study to be a better systems engineer. And if you're interested in those same things, I hope that you'll be here as well, doing much the same.